Hey there, listeners! Welcome back to Tell by Bell, the podcast where we tell stories and share perspectives. This season, we're diving into poetry again, specifically the ones from the SPM, English Literature Syllabus, or Code 2206. We'll read them, break them down, and maybe even have a few aha moments together. So, if you love poetry, or even if you're just trying to survive the exam, you're in the right place. Settle in, stay curious, and let's make poetry feel a little less like homework and a lot more like a conversation. Today, we turn our attention to Minors by Wilfred Owen, a poem that beautifully interweaves themes of sacrifice, labor, and the cause of progress. Owen is best known for his poignant war poetry, capturing the brutal reality of World War I with an unmatched sensitivity and depth. However, Minors, written in 1918, takes a step away from the battlefield to explore a different kind of suffering, one rooted in the lives of those who toil beneath the earth. It is truly a striking meditation on sacrifice, exploitation, and being forgotten. Let's hear the poem.
There was a whispering in my heart, a scythe of the coal, grown wistful of a former earth it might recall. I listened for a tale of leaves and smothered ferns, frond forests, and the low sly lives before the fawns. My fire might show steam phantoms simmer from time's old cauldron, before the birds made nests in summer, or men had children. But the coals were murmuring of their mind, and moans down there, of boys that slept right sleep and men writhing for air. And I saw white bones in the cinder shard, bones without number, for many hearts with coal are charred and few remember. I thought of some who work dark pits of war and died, digging the rock where death reputes, peace lies indeed. Comforted years will sit soft-chaired in rooms of amber. The years will stretch their hands well cheered by our lives' amber. The centuries will burn rich loads with which we groan, whose warmth shall lull their dreaming lids while songs are crooned. But they will not dream of us poor lads, lost in the ground.
Wow, that was sad. Alright, to honor the late Minors, the least we can do right now is to break down this poem in simpler terms and relate to our modern times. So let's start with the opening lines. There was a whispering in my heart, a scythe of the coal, grown wistful of a former earth it might recall. Now, right away, Owen brings the fire to life. That whispering and scythe, that's personification. The coal isn't just burning, it's speaking, like it remembers something. The fire becomes a storyteller, murmuring about an ancient world long before humans walked the earth. It's eerie, but beautiful. And Owen doesn't let us romanticize it for long. The coal's warmth comes at a cost. He writes, the coals were murmuring of their mind, and moans down there, of boys that slept right sleep and men writhing for air. Now this fire's comfort suddenly feels tainted. It's fueled by suffering. Miners toiling underground, risking their lives for something most people take for granted. And this is where the poem hits home for me. It's not just about miners in Owen's time, it's also about all the people working in the background today, the ones we rarely notice. Think about it. Delivery drivers, warehouse workers, night shift cleaners, farm laborers. These people who keep the world running while the rest of us sleep like a baby. Just like Owen's miners, they often work in harsh conditions, and their sacrifices get overlooked. Poem drives this point home with stark imagery. He writes, "And I saw white bones in the cinder shard, bones without number, for many hearts with coal are charred and few remember." It's brutal. The miners' bodies become part of the coal itself. Feel for other people's comfort. And that phrase, few remember, that's the real gut punch. Because isn't that true today too? How often do we think about the people behind the services we rely on? But Owen isn't just describing tragedy for the sake of it. He's asking us to be aware, to recognize that progress often comes at a human cost. The warmth of a fire, the convenience of goods arriving overnight, they don't just appear. They're the result of someone's hard work, often in tough conditions. Owen ends with a haunting thought. But they would not dream of us poor lads, lost in the ground. He's imagining a future where people enjoy comfort without ever thinking about the lives sacrificed to make it possible. It's a warning. If we're not careful, we'll forget the very people who made our comfort possible. So here's my takeaway. Miners isn't just a historical poem, it's a reminder to see the invisible workers around us, to acknowledge the sacrifices that make modern life possible. Maybe it's as simple as showing gratitude or pushing for better working conditions. But one thing's for sure, we can't afford to forget. Thank you all for joining us on this journey through literature and meaning. If you enjoyed this episode or this entire season, be sure to share this channel with someone you think can benefit from it. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and let's not forget the people who keep the world turning. See you next time on Toiling. I'm your host, Bella Wee.